up, everybody? Welcome back to a Friday morning edition of KBO Collections Hobby Drive. It's a cloudy and warm Friday morning. And I say warm, it's about probably 73, 74 degrees. I know some people say that's cool. Well, to me, cool is more like 60, not 70. But anyway, so headed into work on this warm Friday morning. It's supposed to be sunny later on today, I do believe. Hopefully it will be, because I brought my camera, taking it to work. So after work, I'm planning on taking a few photos. Possibly. You never know. Depends on how I feel at the end of the day. So anyway, but so what do I have for you today? Well, honestly, after what I talked about yesterday, like my childhood love of collecting sets and stuff. I started thinking about some sets that kind of stuck with me from my childhood. And what I mean by stuck with me, I'm like in my mind, and then I think back and I'm like, wow, that was a really cool set. And for me, one of those sets was in 1993, and it was the 1993 Upper Deck Baseball All-Time Heroes, or Baseball's All-Time. It was a trifold set, like the pre-war trifolds, or triple folds, whichever one you want to call them. And it was the same design and everything, and then it had like the same look to it. Of course, it was on new glossy card stock with printing, and Upper Deck, of course, had their holograms on it and stuff like that. But man, they were awesome cards. And to be quite honest, I kind of feel like maybe that's where some of my love for like pre-war comes from. Is I remember, because the set itself wasn't very big. It was between 150 and 200 cards, maybe somewhere around the 170, 175 mark, something like that. It's a rather small set. And I honestly, I don't exactly remember how many cards were in a pack, nor do I remember the actual prices of the packs, but I do remember going to Fred's Dollar Store. Like Fred's Dollar Store, I don't even know if they still exist or not. And like it was a national chain or a regional chain or whatever. I remember going there, and I would like pick up these packs of the 1993 Upper Deck Best All Time, or Baseball's All Time, Best All Time. Honestly, I don't even know. There's an acronym, there's an abbreviation on the card. It's called B.A.T. I don't know if it's Baseball's All Time or if it's Best All Time, honestly. So it's one of the two, I would guess. Who knows? It could be Blow Me at a Time. I don't know. So yeah, but that's it. Like I said, it did really stick with me. And I remember going into Fred's, and I would buy the packs. I don't know. I'd take in my allowance or whatever, or my grass cutting money, whatever I'd gotten from like cutting a yard or things like that. And I would buy maybe, like 2 or 3 packs usually. I want to say that they were maybe like a couple bucks a pack. So, I could probably take in like my yard cutting money. Like I'd cut a yard for like $5 or whatever. So I could probably take that in and buy like 2 to 3 packs, something like that. So, but yeah, so I would do that. And I tried to collect the set. I tried to put together the set, but I never succeeded in that. To be quite honest, as a child, I was very unsuccessful in building sets. But at the same time, back then, we didn't have like all of the tools at our disposal that we have. So Like, today building a set can be quite easy, depending on what it is, of course, and especially if you have the money for it. But back then, like, I used to love trying to put them together. I tried to put that one together. Never made it but I would say that I probably ended up with about 2/3 of it, 2/3, 3/4 of the set. And this was in '93, and I sold my childhood collection at the end of '94. And those were some of the only cards that I kept. And so, like a little over a year, like almost, at the end of '94 is when I sold my childhood collection. So yeah, I did that. So, a little over a year later, I kept those cards. And I don't know, I think I just kept them because I was kind of attached to them. Now I have no clue where they are. They're probably somewhere at my mom's house, but I honestly don't know. And if they are there, who knows what condition they're in. And what I mean by that is, like, they're probably like stuck in or under or wherever with something. So who knows if any of them even exist. They could have all been thrown out for all I know. But yeah, so no, and what I was saying about selling my collection, like, I sold my childhood collection at the end of '94, and the reason why I did that is because I was buying my first car. So I was trying to raise some capital to come up with my first car, which I did. So, sold my childhood collection, but had a few cards still left like those, but I don't know where they are. Maybe when I go home, this next winter, I may try to find them, try to figure out where they are. And if they still exist, I may throw them into my suitcase and bring them back to Korea with me. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, that 1993 Upper Deck Baseball's all-time heroes or best all-time, that was a cool little set. And I think that's what got me had me interested in some pre-war stuff. Like now, I think it's just, even though that wasn't pre-war, it was based on pre-war, so kind of stuck with me over the years. So yeah, so that was a little bit of childhood collecting and kind of a set that I really liked and everything. And I think you can pick them up pretty cheaply now. Like, I don't think they're expensive. I don't know. I haven't looked at them. But I think you can buy singles of that pretty cheaply. May even be able to buy the whole set fairly cheaply. I don't know. But yeah, so that is that. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about today was something that, when I was going to get my coffee this morning, and this is a live thing, but when I was going to get my coffee this morning, I have a couple of places that I normally go to, and it depends on my schedule for the day. It depends on what direction I'm going to work. Okay, so the place that I normally go to on Friday mornings, and these are CU convenience stores, is what they are. They're everywhere. There are 3 of them in my neighborhood, and that's what I'm going to tell you about. But sometimes I go to the one in my neighborhood, but sometimes I go to the one closer to my workplace, which is further away from my neighborhood, like by about 5 minutes, and I'm talking by car, okay, not by foot. So maybe 5 minutes away by car. So these CU convenience stores, that's where I'll get my morning coffee when I'm headed to work. And anyway, this morning I was going to my nearby one, my community one, and was going to get my coffee. And I go in, and of course I'm still drinking iced coffee because it's still quite warm to me. So I go in to get my iced coffee, and they have no ice cups. They've sold out, I guess, yesterday. So anyway, I was like, all right, cool, appreciate it. And I headed back out the door, and I'm like, okay. So in my neighborhood, there are 3 CU convenience stores, but one of them has been closed down to be remodeled. The other one, I'm still not going to tell you about it yet, but I will in just a moment. The other one is a new one, but it's not a new store. So anyway, and I haven't been in it. So basically I come out and I'm like, well, okay, I can't go to that one because it's closed. The other one I refuse to go to, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And then I was like, well, guess what? I'm going to drive 5 minutes in the opposite direction of where I need to go get coffee this morning, which I did, to my second place that I go to. So drove 5 minutes in the opposite direction to get my coffee, but it was worth it. Now, on to why I don't go to the one that there is a CU that is literally within 100 meters of the front door of my house, and I don't go there. And the reason why is because of the owners. And I'll tell you, there's a story behind all this. So the name of where I live is Chung Sol. So this place used to be called Chung Sol Mart, was the name of it. And I went there ever since I had moved into my apartment complex, because it was seriously 100 meters from my apartment. I would go in there all the time. I was spending anywhere from probably $30 to $50 a week in there, sometimes more. This would be snacks, foods, drinks, because they sold food is like different foods and stuff. I'd buy my milk there, I'd buy my eggs there, all of this stuff, right? So I would spend, $30 to $50 a week in this store. And I did that for years. Did it for probably, I'm trying to think how long I've been living where I'm living. I've been living where I'm living for about, and what I mean is my apartment, I think I've been living there 8 years now. And I haven't been going to that place for the last 3 years. So yeah. So I went there for 5 years. So for 5 years, you can imagine, I was spending, quite a lot of money every week. And like I said, some weeks I would spend more. But finally, it got to the point to where I was like, I am never going back in that store again. I still see the owner sometimes. The owner speaks to me, asks me where I've been. It's like, oh, where have you been? I'm like, I'm busy. And I just keep walking. I seriously, just I've been busy. Nice to see you. And I keep walking. That's it. Now, why am I like that? Why won't I go in there and all that? Well, like I said, it was because of the owner. And why because of the owner? So, some years ago, it was over 3 years ago, right? It got to a point where I was going in there, and the guy was fucking criticizing, what I was buying. He was like, you're fat. You don't need that. You're fat. You don't need this. You're fat. You're fat. You gained weight. You're fat. And he just did this. And I let this go on for about a year. It went on for about a year. Until one day, and I had actually lost a good amount of weight at that time. I had lost quite a bit of weight. And rather than say anything about that, he starts pointing out that I'm fat. And and I'm not saying that I'm not fat. But if you're a business owner, and we're not friends. Me and this guy, we're not friends. We didn't go hang out and drink together and all. It wasn't like friends teasing friends. This was a business owner that I go in and do business with, always fucking pushing my buttons. And he did that for probably a couple of years, honestly. But he probably did it for a couple of years, and that last year was when it really started to weigh on me, and especially because I had lost some weight at the time, and he was still doing it and still saying it, and I was just like, fuck you, man. And I walked out of the store with my stuff, and I haven't walked back in there since. I've even had friends come over and visit my apartment, and they were like, where can I, I need to go get some beer. And I'm like, go across the street, don't go there. And one friend was like, well, I want to go in there and look. And I'm like, well, you can go in there, but I'm not going with you. Like, I refuse to give that guy any more of my business. I refuse to give him any more of my money. Just because of the way he always talked to me and the way he treated me. And he was a fit, healthy guy. Like, he, spent his hours in the gym every morning and all that kind of stuff. But, that doesn't give you any right to, like, constantly criticize the look of somebody else. Especially at that time, like I said, because I was trying to lose weight and stuff. And it really pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? I don't have to go to his store anymore. So, back to what I was saying, his store went from being Chung Soul Mart to about 2 months ago, he changed it to a CU. When I saw that it was a CU coming, I was like, oh my God, fingers crossed, I hope this guy is fucking gone. Then I can start going in this store again. And then I look, and no, there he is, standing right out front still. And I was like, yep, not going in there. So I could have went there and gotten my coffee today. I could go there and get my coffee every day. But that is something that I refuse to do. Because I refuse to give that guy any of my business. Because of the way he treated me. Like, verbally. Like, he didn't physically, like, do anything to me, but, like, just always, criticizing me for about, and it wasn't always fat. It was different things. Like, I would go in and he would be like, oh, you drink too much milk, or you drink too much, and like I said, it wasn't always about my weight. Sometimes it was just criticizing choices of what I was buying. And it wasn't always food related either. Like, I may go in, for example, and I might buy some detergent or something. And, like, he might even criticize my choice on that. And I'm like, this guy is, I don't know. Anyway, weird guy. Won't do business with him. So, yeah. So, I hope he has to sell his CU someday to another person so that I can start going in there again, honestly. That's what I would like. But, yeah. So, I don't go to that mart anymore. But, yeah. That's my 2 stories for the day. One on cards, one on life, about why I don't go to one of these stores anymore. So, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.